we just got some interesting news for PSO2 from Sega and Microsoft as well, with maybe a little bit of a possibility of a Switch version finally coming to the global, for all of us who want to play over on the Switch or maybe some other platform such as mobile. But before we hop into all the news here, if you are new here and you're enjoying your #1 stop for PSO2 New Genesis news, make sure you do the thumbs up, subscribe, hit all the bells, and of course check out a membership below. And with that, let's get into this. Let's discuss everything that is happening and how that could mean so much for New Genesis. So the information is coming from the official Sega website, more so for more the business side of Sega here. And I will have a link in the description below if you want to read over that yourself. So it's not really an article for say, this is more just a straight up announcement coming straight from Sega higher ups here. So the thing that is interesting about all this is Sega pretty much announcing, hey, we are partnering with Microsoft to acquire using Sora servers, which is nothing really new there since it's the same servers that Sega already used for PSO2 on the global stage. But the thing that is interesting here from the poll is the discussion of new IPs, the original IP, and also the whole idea of using not only Microsoft servers that we already been using over on Sega behalf, but also the possibility of working with the IPs using xCloud. And this brings up some very, very interesting discussion to be had here, since none of FR PSO coming to Switch on the global haven't been announced. This is nothing more than just a plain, hey, we working with Microsoft in this field and we're going to be using the technology. The thing to keep in mind here is, of course, have to do with the Nintendo Switch version of a PSO2 New Genesis, which is of course thanks to, well, the Japan version. Since for anyone who's not aware, New Genesis and base PSO is already available on the Nintendo Switch, and also have a crossover with Zelda where you can get your hands on some Zelda cosmetics. But this has been exclusively for Japan only, since it is a cloud version, not a downloaded version. And trying to play this outside Japan is super hit or miss, especially with it mainly running off servers that are located in Japan. And as you probably can figure with, having a game that is live streaming to you, there's some issues if you start trying to do outside Japan. Which, with this whole announcement being about using the IP with the cloud service, that means it's a possibility that maybe, like our percentage went up like maybe 1% of likelihood here. But nonetheless, still a possibility that we might actually see New Genesis popping over on the Nintendo Switch. Personally, I kind of like in the camp it might happen, but I'm not holding my breath too hard on that. The thing I'm more so interested in here is not only for future IP stuff that Sega actually have, such as, Yakuza, Sonic, whatever, is also the possibility of New Genesis may not be coming to the Nintendo Switch, but they could see a possibility of it actually coming to the xCloud service. So if you are playing this on, say, a tablet or a phone, you will be able to do so, especially since they do talk about here with, of course, adapting to 5G. So this is pretty much speaking outside of just normal home LAN or Wi-Fi connection here. So that means, obviously, 5G at the moment will be good enough for this in some way or shape or form. So if you want to play, say, a Sega property on the go, it might not be the Switch, but it might be on your phone. But nonetheless, this information is brand new since the article was literally just posted over on the official Sega website for the corporation. And, no real announcement beyond using this in the partnership and the discussion of IPs as a whole, but nothing specifically enough to say one way or another. And also on top of that, just because the partnership is coming into play right now, or being finalized more so, since obviously it finalized enough to publicly talk about this, especially for anybody interested in the business side of Sega. But we might still have to wait a few years before we actually start seeing something, coming together here for this. Who knows, it might be something that we might see as we get closer to the end of this generation of consoles, rolling into the next generation when obviously xCloud and Game Pass is going to be so much more important as Microsoft, in my theory, moving away from just being, not just a Windows company, but a console manufacturer as well, since I have stated it many times during my live stream, which you should come watch, twitch.tv/TroyMacon, link in the description for that. That Microsoft is very much trying to really imply to move away from the hardware business into just getting Game Pass and xCloud on as much stuff as humanly possible. So in return, that could also mean, that could be a thing for the Switch. And also, you might be thinking, like, this is a Microsoft thing. Why would they, do this for other consoles outside of Xbox or outside of Windows? But the thing to keep in mind here is that technology with the server side runs all sorts of things. This is not just a technology that is used for gaming. Other corporation, other businesses does use the technology. So in return, this stuff might be able to pretty much freely be used outside of the gaming industry, outside of Xbox as a whole. Once again, I don't think that me coming to the Switch tomorrow, but this does have a little bit more of a possibility that we might actually see this on the global side in one way or another, any if it might be just on your phone. But nonetheless, that is what is going on with this announcement. Once again, don't hold your breath for any big announcement anytime soon, because it could be one of them cases that we might be 4 or 5 years out before we actually start seeing it up coming into play. Or, we might be a year or two out. We will have to wait and see, depending on the manpower that Sega and Microsoft put towards the partnership. But nonetheless, this is still very exciting for the possibility of a new Genesis, right along with everything else Sega is releasing. And once again, if you want to read over the exact details of all of it, because this is very much a post for investors or just like announcement partnership stuff, just know it does get a little wordy on the business side, but you can check it out in the description below if you want to read over it. And while you are down there, make sure you do the thumbs up, subscribe, hit all the bells if you find that useful in any way, shape, or form. Also, make sure to hit that wonderful join button, and for as low as 99 cents, you can get your hands on a whole bunch of perks here on YouTube. And with that, that will go ahead and do it for me for this video. And I will go ahead and see you all in the comments.